Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports this morning. It's a very beautiful Monday morning, the first day of the week, and time for us to take you around the world of sports, of course, with a review of most of the things that happened over the weekend. My name is Tony Bitoye. I must say a very big thank you to you for joining us on this brand new edition of the show. Yemi Adebayo is my partner on the program this morning, and Yemi, well, it's looking really good for the Gunners now. It's also looking very good for Manchester United.
Yes.
They have a chance of going 3 points clear tonight when they play Fulham. Well, but games are only won on the pitch, not before they are played on the pitch.
A game in hand means nothing because
until it is won.
Until it's 3 points. But they do have a fantastic chance.
Advantage to go 3 points clear at the top.
And a lot of people have thought that the game in April might probably be the decider. But now this cushion is being offered them by Man City. You know, when they could not win.
When the Man City coach said that the game that was going to decide the title was United's visit to the Eastlands, I felt it was overstepping. Because it was going into the territory of Alex Ferguson, trying to play mind games. And that game may not even be needed anymore.
It may not, yes.
The points could have gone beyond 3 points.
I mean, Mancini was so angry he couldn't attend the press conference. The assistant coach.
Feeling the pressure.
Because he knew he was probably going to say something and get himself into trouble. So he just kept. But the pressure is on. And I feel now, Man City have not lost it. But they are showing signs of desperation, signs of pressure. Even their comments.
At the wrong time of the season.
At the wrong time of the season.
Anyway, that's one of the issues we'll talk about on the program this morning. That's the English Premier League. And of course, we will also, hopefully, before the end of the show, talk about Tiger Woods.
Yes.
It's good news. After 30 months, Tiger Woods finally got it right on the final day.
Coming up after crashing down.
Several times he's come so close, but now it looks like it's looking good. But can he ever come back to being world number one? Well, time will tell. We'll talk about that as well on the program this morning. Of course, on a Monday morning, we will be doing a review of the Nigerian Premier League. Week 16 games were played, and some people have said that the history of coaches is just down to two: those who have been fired and those who are waiting in line to be fired. Another coach looks like he's on his way out. We'll talk about that on the program this morning. And of course, on the continent wasn't particularly fantastic for Nigerian clubs. We'll touch up on that as well. Unfortunately, this Monday morning, we will not be able to take you through the papers. Somehow, we just couldn't get the papers this morning. And, well, I hope that you will pardon us for that and still enjoy the show all the same. But, Yemi, let's start off with the women. There's so much to talk about the guys, but let's start with the women. We anticipated it on Friday night. The Falcons of Nigeria have qualified.
Flamingos, actually.
I beg your pardon. The Flamingos of Nigeria have qualified in such a convincing manner, beating Zambia 5-0 in Abeokuta. And if you saw this first game in Zambia, you will know that there was always going to be one result.
Yeah, there was always going to be a one-way traffic.
One-way traffic. Even in this game, we wasted so many chances that should have buried the game. But finally, in Abeokuta, the girls came good.
You know, the words of the Chipolopolo coach is coming to, but I don't understand. Some people are saying she sounded like a sore loser. But the Zambian, it was always going to be a one-way traffic. Our girls had the better chances. Our girls were stronger on the ball, and that was going to.
Our girls can hit the ball hard.
That is the key deciding factor. The fact that our girls could hit a long range. I think, just take a look at this. Even a 17-year-old boy cannot do better than that, and that has been the hallmark.
And it's because we have a well-developed league, and these guys have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, well, by African standards, let's say we have a well-developed league.
Yeah, by African standards, surely.
I don't think I want to say let's just say our girls are active because. The league,
they are just trying to develop their own league.
Our girls are
and they have to go through their own teething problems and all of that.
And this Chipolopolo definitely one for the future. Looking very young, fleet-footed, just can't strike the ball when it matters, and that's what cost them. And there is no team that comes close to the Nigerians at women's age grade football. At the senior level, well, Ghana, South Africa, Cameroon, but at age grade, nobody comes close to the Nigerians.
So congratulations to the Flamingos.
Yeah,
a ticket to the World Cup. Good start to the year.
We hope they translate this into the World Cup. We hope they have not scored all their goals, because that's my problem. We hope they still have some in the bag, some in the reservoir, and take it to Azerbaijan, I think, and you know, give us something to cheer about.
And of course, the lesson is that this team is still work in progress.
Yes.
They will meet surely better teams at the World Cup. So
better prepared teams,
stronger teams. So it comes down to how well the Nigerian Football Federation are able to prepare the team for the World Cup. We're told that the girls have gone on break now. The team has been decamped. They are going to go to rest and then reconverge after a few weeks to prepare for the World Cup.
In fairness to our girls, their quality has never been the issue. It's always been the technical input. Look at the last Women's World Cup, for instance. We lost to teams. Okay, the game against France, we were better 90 minutes. Just one, I think it was a well-taken free kick. And it was the goal. We lost that and we were chasing all through. So the technical input, I'm not questioning the competence of the coach. But for me, I think the difference between us and the European teams and some of the world powers in female football has always been the little attention to technical details.
Okay.
And I think our coaches should work on that. The quality not in doubt. The tactics, okay, but technical issues. How do you defend set pieces? What do you do when you have set pieces? What do you do with your opportunities? Do you always try to use the muscle? Because that's the physical approach. That's what we always try to do when we're playing female football.
All right, so that's the good news. And that's the standpoint for today, starting with the girls. Wish them the best of luck. And, of course, reminding you that this weekend, the senior girls, the under-20, will also be going back to the same venue, Abeokuta, to take on Zimbabwe in another crucial game for the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup. Later tonight, we will try to get you the highlights of the game that the Flamingos played in Abeokuta. So please don't miss that later this evening. All right, let's go talk about the guys now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's the next story for us to talk about. And the Nigerian Football Federation have confirmed that Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi wants Nigeria to play their next qualifiers. It's if it was 2, it was the double header. What do we call 3? Triple header. It's a triple header. We are playing Namibia, we are playing Malawi, we are playing Rwanda in 3 weeks in June. Very busy time. And our home games, 2 of them will now be played in Kaduna. That's what Stephen Keshi wants, and that's where the Eagles will be playing.
Yeah, I have nothing but praise for the NFF over the way they've handled, you know, the national team, over the way they've given those coaches
the free hand to do whatever they want.
At the end of the day, if you don't get results, you have yourself to blame. You have friendly matches, you have opportunities to try out your tactics, and you know nobody's pushing you into the fray. Nobody's saying play Brazil, play. You know, just giving you the opposition to try and build your team, to try and you know. I'm so very happy. Most in times past, a coach would just sit down, take his salaries, not do anything, and when it's an important game, bring some players 3 days to the game. He loses the game, he loses his job. But this time, he's better this way.
All right, we will talk about Nigerian clubs on the continent. But before we do that, okay, I think we should before we talk about what you just saw on your screen, Austin J.J. Okocha and the Delta State Sports Commission looking forward to the National Sports Festival. Let's just quickly talk about Nigerian clubs on the continent before we go on to talk about what Delta State is doing. Nigerian clubs on the continent, Yemi, wasn't a very good one for our teams in the CAF Champions League. Dolphins needed a late goal to win 2-1 over Cotton Sport. The players argued and fought over money leading into that game, and maybe that's why they weren't convincing. 2-1 win over Cotton Sport of Cameroon. Recreativo Libolo took out Sunshine 4-1. The game was 1-1 until 10 minutes to full time. They just lost concentration and considered 3 late goals, and so Sunshine have their backs against the wall. But in the CAF Confederations Cup, as you can see on your screen, Calon FC of Sierra Leone and Warri Wolves 0-0. Heart and Calm, US Heart and Calm of Cameroon and Atlant 0-0. Looking good for us in the Confederation Cup, but looking out of reach for us in the CAF Champions League.
Already looking like one of our teams will bite the dust. I was hoping that 2 of our teams would get to be in the group stage and probably have.
It's still a long way off the group stage.
Now, this is what I'm saying. I'm not going
to CAF Champions League.
In the CAF Champions, I'm not going to start pointing figures at the NPL, but you know some of the issues we had before.
People are always going to raise those issues,
and those issues will come into it now.
Well, it depends.
For me, this is not good.
It's not a good
have
result.
Their backs against the wall. You have to score 3 unreplied goals to qualify, and
it's not looking easy.
Score 1, you have to score 5 to win. 4-1 is penalty. I mean, it's something that's a bit scary. And for Sunshine, a team that we feel could do well on the continent with proper support. I mean, if these teams win, it's for Nigeria, and we shouldn't be creating obstacles. I'm not saying that's why they lost, but you've given them, like I said, an excuse is already in the bag. You've given them an excuse. They could say you have frustrated their plans. They could say that you created obstacles.
Excuses. If they won the game, nobody will talk about the fact that
they will talk about how good they were.
Yeah, but they didn't win the game, and so people will always raise questions. But I think they have to come back home now. The Nigerian Premier League can learn from what has happened there, plan better when Nigerian teams are on the continent, get them better prepared, and let's hope that the results will also fall in line. But for the CAF Confederations Cup, fantastic result for the two teams that traveled out. But in the CAF Champions League, it's looking really, really difficult, and it's still a long way off from the group stage of the CAF Champions League, and it's even very long way off from you to drop into the Confederations Cup if you crash out in the CAF Champions League. So Sunshine and Dolphins,
it's a dilemma.
Unless they get a good result in the return leg, maybe out of the continent entirely.
For me, the fact that Dolphins conceded that goal,
away goal.
If it had been 2-0, yes, 2-1.
Yeah, so
it's dicey.
Dolphins and Sunshine really have mountains to climb in the return leg. Okay, so let's go to what you saw a couple of minutes ago on the screen. Delta State, we must give them credit. We gave credit to Lagos State the other time. Whoever is doing well for sports, we should give them the credit. They signed a deal with a corporate body to prepare their athletes and to generally develop sports in Delta State as they count down to the National Sports Festival that Lagos will be hosting later this year. Austin J.J. Okocha, who is also an official of Delta Sports, and Victor Ekweba were also there. So let's allow you to listen to what they had to say, and then we'll come back for more. I think about 9 million naira there from corporate support for Delta Sports. We'll come back and talk more on sports in Nigeria after we allow you to listen to what they have to say.
Maybe we shake hands like this.
Well, it will go a long way. I mean, in any thing that you want to do, you need to start from somewhere, and of course 9 million is a lot of money, in whichever way you want to look at it, so it will really go a very long way.
The furtherance of our partnership with the state government and the Sports Commission in particular, specifically the presentation today is towards human capital development in the Sports Commission. Some of their personnel will be sent for training. Some of them inside Nigeria, some of them offshore. It is our support in that regard.
I think I want to agree with that. I like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Not just directly into the sports, but developing the E-mans, the coaches, send them on refresher courses, and I think that's what we should be thinking about. Yeah. Even with the general picture, the National Sports Commission, the Nigerian Football Federation.
I need to translate to results.
Send your coaches to England, send them to Italy, Spain.
Not just throwing money around. That's the most important thing, because
not just increase bonuses.
Yes, that's where the results will come from, and I think it's a good one. And like you said, I hope we get a bigger picture. We do this at national level, and we just not crash into events, crash into hoping to get the solitary medals.
Okay, let's talk about the Nigerian Premier League now, and let's start from here. 3SC. I've told Coach Festus Allen to step aside. The management of 3SC have ordered him to step aside. They lost 2-0 to Kaduna United yesterday. Very shortly we'll go into all of that. But they've told Festus Allen, step aside. They said he's not been sacked. He's only been told to step aside. But then if you follow the trend, when you step aside, you hardly step in.
You don't.
You step aside and step aside forever.
You step aside and leave. Step aside and take a walk.
Take a walk.
I feel so sorry for Festus Allen. Someone I love so much. Someone I admire. And in football and in coaching generally, results count, and it's not your pedigree, it's not your name, and I think, in fact, I expected the acts longer than this. I think they were patient. In this case, I don't think I want to blame. The results were not going their way. Something had to happen, and we saw the example what happened in the EPL. Mick McCarthy, with what he had done for Wolves, brought them to the EPL and all that. But when results were not going their way, they had to do something. At this point, they had to do something, because if the trend continues, the fear is 3SC might just be back where they came from and
go down again.
I think that was a fear in their hearts to make them take this decision. But
you ask yourself, who recruited the players? They recruited players very late. he was more or less stampeded into working with the players that were there. So it's a whole lot of blame. I mean, blame shifting. Who did the recruitment of the players? What time did they begin to put their teams together? You don't prepare poorly for the league and expect that you'll be contending with the likes of Enyimba, the likes of Sunshine, the likes of Kano Pillars. It's not going to happen.
But in spite of all that, a decision had to be taken, and you know, somebody had to be the sacrificial.
Let's hope that his assistants have been told to step in. I hope they will get the results.
Yes.
Do a good job and keep 3SC up. It's just the first round of the league. There's still a lot of time for them to remedy.
It's too early to start thinking damage control.
But then sometimes, when the morning would dictate what the day will look like.
Yeah, but I still feel it's too early to start thinking damage control at this stage. Just
okay,
after
that's what you feel.
games.
That's what you feel. By the time you get into the second round of the Nigerian League, there's no remedy for you. Everybody will sit tight at home and try to pick something from their games. All right, so 3SC, speed of bad results, not being convincing at home, not getting some of those results, maybe the quality of the player that they have finally coming in. Okay, I think we should just allow you to see some highlights of 3SC, maybe their last home game, and then we'll come back for more on Sports This Morning.
Ambrose Van Zyken not called into action at all, and the man that hit that free kick didn't get it properly. Shooting Stars kept fighting, and they kept coming across, but that one was headed in from across the goal line, and even though there was a handball in the box there by Victor Ezema, it was adjudged that the ball had already crossed the line. The referee thought it was a penalty. The assistant referee saw the ball cross the line. The referee, knuckled into the decision of his assistant. That's what the cooperation is all about in games like this. And that's how the referee decided it. Center referee, of course, for the day being Patrick Ishaya, a graduate student from Kaduna State. And then, of course, Judah Neke was roving at the other end. Lone striker he was operating as. But that one came across. It wasn't well hit. And it was Victor Ezema who couldn't connect very well to that ball. Initial good footwork. It didn't get him anywhere. The goalkeeper rose and shone for some while there. A free kick coming to Warri Wolves. It was thumped against the crossbar. That was from Gifta Tilua. Thumping free kick. Well on target. It was just the crossbar that came to the rescue for Shooting Stars. The goalkeeper, Emmanuel Daniel, was well and truly beaten already. And that's how Shooting Stars came to conceding the first goal. But finally, that ball came across. Ike Tangod was unmarked. He escaped his markers rather. And in the end, it was quite a free header. And he put some power behind it. Went straight through the goalkeeper as if he was not there. And the only goal of the game so far from Ike Tangod. Look at that again. And a reverse head coming across. Emmanuel Daniel had absolutely no chance. That was the highlight, really. Kabiru Alausa, I did say something about him. He goes down. I think it's going to be a penalty. I did say that if he cleans up his act, he might get something for his side. Kabiru Alausa winning a penalty for Shooting Stars. And, what do you know?
I certainly need to. When the ball was headed on here, he ran in. Well, I think the referee got it absolutely right. He got the ball. The defender got the ball, really. I think he did get just a little bit of Kabiru Alausa's leg, but it.
As the man that won the penalty that's about to take it, Kabiru Alausa, I did say that in the closing moments of the game, he might yet make an impact. I said that not quite 30 seconds ago, and he's won a penalty. He wants to dispatch it himself. Between him and that goal is we're setting Ambrose Van Zyken, and Van Zyken stops it. Oh, but the ball rolls over. What a lucky break for Shooting Stars here. Great anticipation from Van Zyken. Not the best of penalties, but in the end, it's still a 1-1 situation.
I think the home fans are celebrating, but certainly not the best penalty. He got his hands on it, but ended up pushing it into the back of his own net. He's distraught, Ambrose Van Zyken.
Well, that's 3SC, one of the games. They struggled at home. Got a point of Warri Wolves, but their results on the road. If you have just 1 point on the road against Lobby Stars, give the coach a 4-game ultimatum, and the 4 games have elapsed, and the results have failed to improve. All right, so there it goes. But let's run through the results for you very quickly and run through our review of the Nigerian Premier League. Kwara United 4-2 over Jigawa Golden Stars. 6-goal thriller played at the Lorraine Township Stadium. That game was supposed to be played behind closed doors, but the reports we got were that some people were still able to squeeze in to watch the game. And you ask yourself, so what is this all about? Tornadoes 1-0 over Sharks Ibigua with the goal. Abubakar Bukola Saraki needed a late-minute goal from Abdurrahman Bashir to beat Lobby Stars 2-1. Very exciting game to watch on TV.
Their games
around 7 games unbeaten now, and they have moved away from relegation zone. They're right now in the middle of the log. Gobe United beat Pillars 1-0. Neither Baba Didi nor Sanusi got on the goal target in this one. Kaduna United 2-0 over 3SC, and Enyimba 1-0 over Rising Stars. And these are the results for you of week 16 of the Nigerian Premier League. Home teams very dominant. Top 4. Well, we told you last week about the issues with the top 4.
Yeah.
Those issues are still very much there. Conflicting top 4 everywhere. But this is what we've been able to put together on our own. And we believe it should be close to what should be the reality with all the teams.
As a semblance.
Yeah, Rangers are still on top, 29 points plus 10 goal difference. Enyimba second with 29 points as well. Pillars are third, they have 26 points from 9. The Nigerian Premier League is still insisting that they have 25 points, but I'm sure they have mixed up one game somewhere.
Yeah.
Wiki 15 points and 24 points, 15 games, 24 points, minus 1 as their goal difference. That's what we feel is the top 4. But we'll wait to see later tonight if there's any change. We'll let you know. The bottom, Jigawa 15 points minus 11. Rising Stars 15 points minus 6. 3SC are flirting with relegation terribly. They have 17 points minus 7. Lobby 17 points minus 2. That's what the bottom 4 looks like in the Nigerian Premier League. And well, our team of the week, Abubakar Bukola Saraki, amazing run of 7 games unbeaten, carved up with the victory over Lobby Stars in an exciting game played in Ilorin yesterday. So Abubakar Bukola Saraki,
very dramatic turnaround for me. I'm so happy with what they've been able to do.
Yeah.
And player of the week, Abdurrahman Bashir of ABS for a brilliant performance against Lobby, which he crowned with a beautiful late goal.
Yeah, so that's our player of the week from Abubakar Bukola Saraki. They are really doing well for themselves. Our top scorers, well, a lot of players are now putting pressure on Mustafa Babadidi, who is on 9. Sanusi Sani of Gombe on 7. It looks like they are going through a gold rot, although they've been injured for a while now. Some clubs will be praying that they stay injured for a longer period. Chike Luba is now on 9 goals. He scored a goal over the weekend. Sibigwa also now, I beg your pardon, on 7 goals. Sibigwa is also on 7 goals. He scored over the weekend. Buhari Jafar of Kaduna on 5. Azuka Ibinum of Wari was not on duty. They went on the continent. Jose Amadu Abuchi on 5. Bright Ejike of Sharks on 5. Godfrey Obwabona of Sunshine also on 5. That's what it looks like, the top scorers in the Nigerian Premier League. Let's run through the National League. Division A, Week 9 results. These are results from Week 9 of the Nigeria Premier League. I beg your pardon, National League. FC Abuja Jute played out a 0-0 draw. Sadauna and Spotlight 1-1. El Kanemi 3-1 over Taraba, and 36 Lions 2-0 over Ranchers. These are results of Week 9 of the National Amateur League. And then Meridian lost at home 1-2 to Giwa. Fantastic result for Giwa. Nasarawa United, we've talked so much about Nasarawa United. They are not stopping. They're looking good for the Premier League. They're pulling away from the pack. They won away.
Even though it's too early for us to say that, but the results clearly indicate that.
Yeah. Plateau United 3-0 over Sokoto, and then NAF 1-0 over Kogi United. These are the results from Division B of the National League. Division C, First Bank 2-0 over Abia Commerce. I saw that game. Exciting game of football at the Unicon Stadium on Saturday. Remo 2-1 over Grey. Nembe 1-0 over Prime. Nembe are really pulling their weight. And then go round, we're able to get 2-0 win over Aqua Starlet. So it's really living up to Billings. Division C, Ajiroba 1-1 with Abia Warriors. Insurance are bouncing back to winning ways. 1-0 over Bridge. Bayelsa 2-2 with Ila. That result, was it good enough to keep them on the top? Crown 0-0 with Gateway. The first point away from home for Gateway, and they're celebrating it. They said they have a new boss, and that's why they traveled well and they were able to play well and get a point. That's let's go to Division. I think that's Division D. That's Division D of the National League. So that's about what happened over the weekend in the National League. Later tonight, we will be talking basketball, give you some lowdown on what happened in basketball. But before we close the show, we'll close the show by bringing you some highlights from the Dutch League. Yemi, let's quickly talk golf and talk about one man. We started the show on that note, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, at last, after 30 months of trying and coming close and being lost in the woods, Tiger Woods has finally come good. The Tiger is roaring again.
At the Arnold Palmer Invitational, I'm so very happy for him. But kudos to his fans who stuck with him, and I like the way he stuck to his game. He didn't give up. He kept on playing, and that's the hallmark of a true champion. Tiger is a true champion, and he's been able to come back in spite of all the negative publicity, in spite of all that he has been through. He kept his head, kept his nerve, and he's been able to win this. And we can look forward for more to come. I mean, if you're good,
the problem with Tiger is he has come so close so many times. His game has improved, but then that final touch that makes him win the game is always lacking.
That makes him the Tiger.
But is this the turnaround that he's been waiting for? Can he ever get back to number one?
I think so. He has it in him. And one thing about golf is like it doesn't have an age limit that restricts you like tennis and all that. Even if you're 50 and you can still be playing the game. And I think Tiger is back for good. Tiger is here to stay. And even when he was having those problems, everybody
see the traits of a champion in him.
Yeah.
All right, that's how we have to wrap it up this Monday morning. Thank you for staying with us.